second string, but we all never sit the bench. Rising stars of the radio, now watch as we ascend. Second string telling the truth, there's no need to take offense. Grant Jake Logan in the booth, so you better pay attention.
How about that?
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Second String Sports Show. I'm your host, Jake.
Logan.
Grant.
And Jeff.
And it wouldn't be a Second String Sports post-Civil War show if I did not start out the show with the legendary Go Beavers, how about that? AKA the new iconic Oregon State saying that I'm going to say after every win. Damn near after any. Go Beavers, how about that is the new Go Bees. I'm saying it here. Hot take.
I still going to go with the traditional Go Beavs. It's quicker. You can get it out. You can get it out
quicker,
faster.
But you got to. This is
Logan,
a new
I
go-to phrase.
Jake. I gotta agree with Jake. I mean,
right,
I'm not gonna say it's the
the
definitive go-to, but it's like a solid number 2.
When
it's a good switch up. It's a good switch up.
When we first heard it, it's kind of like classic Gary, new to the program, saying Beavers, but it's just so catchy. It's just like
Logan. Think about it
sticks,
like this. Think about it like this. You're Clayton Kershaw. You're just pounding. There you go. You're just pounding the strike zone with that fastball. Go Beavs, go Beavs.
It's a nice little curveball.
And you come with that backdoor slider.
True.
Go Beavers. How about that?
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
And then they buckle at the knees.
But that's the thing. You got your traditional fastball. You got your traditional fastball with the Go Beavs. You can get that out real quick.
That's true. It's a switch up.
But Jake was saying that he's going to go with it 24/7.
Nah, we can't.
I'll retract that statement.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
Go
you can be like
Beavers, how about
Mariano
that?
Rivera. You can't just throw cutters all day.
All right. Let's wrangle it back in. We are already sidetracked a little bit. But,
too much baseball.
Typical Second String Sports fashion. But we're going to cut straight to the point. We had our show last week. We broke down our predictions. We all gave the Beavs the W. And what do you know? Oregon State has won their first Civil War game for the first time in 8 years, 8 seasons, to be precise. But yeah, Oregon State 34, Oregon 24, Ryan Nall. As I said in the last episode, the thick thighs were absolutely pumping on the turf.
They are thick. He's a big boy.
Oh, he's a thickin'.
He is a thinking.
Straight sent from heaven.
And we did say he was going to need to have a big game.
Yep. And big game is pretty much almost doesn't even summarize what type of a game Ryan Nall had.
He didn't get to the 1,000-yard mark, but we all kind of
we thought 150 to 175.
Exactly.
He ends up with 155.
And
so
there it is.
That is what we need
4
to get
touchdowns.
the W.
Yeah, that's
And
the thing.
4
I don't
touchdowns.
think any of us could have predicted that he would have had 4 of our 5 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody predicted that one.
And I think he ended up with, I think I saw
31 carries.
I know, but I'm saying overall touchdowns is what I was going for. 13, I think I saw.
I think he had 950 yards, I want to say,
Yeah.
and then 13 TDs for the season.
Yeah, and I think that's tied for 8th or 9th or something like that from the old time Oregon State rushing touchdowns.
He
this
did
season.
have 13.
Yeah.
That's confirmed.
Yeah,
13.
so that's for him already missing a couple games. MVP of the year.
Oh,
Ryan Nall.
Undisputed.
Easily the
Fuck Skip, though, but still.
MVB, most valuable Beaver.
There it is, the MVP.
Ooh, trademark that, Jeff. Tweet that right now. MVB. Jeff
Ryan
Lowe.
Nall, hashtag MVB, most valuable Beaver. It's coming out on Twitter. It's going to be hot.
Do you guys remember our score predictions for the Civil War game from last week's show?
I remember mine, but I don't
I
remember.
think
mine was
I do
close
remember
to
mine.
yours.
My score prediction was 35-31, and that was pretty close. And I feel like almost all of us were
that's
really close.
Yeah.
I think we were all in
I
the
said
30s for the
38 to
Beavers,
31.
right? Yeah.
So-
I want to say I said 24, 27, 24, something like that. I don't think I had anybody in the 30s, but we were all close. I think Logan or Grant was the closest.
Yeah, it's probably. What did you have again, Grant?
I had 38-31 Beavs.
I think I might have to.
I think Logan was a little closer.
Yeah, I would.
But we were all pretty accurate, all of us. So go us.
Hey, we all got a W.
Go Beavers. How about that?
Hey, you remember we were starting off the year that we were saying that I think we're going to lose, but I hope we're wrong. Now it was just like
I hope we win. We're gonna win, and we're gonna pound the Ducks until they bleed and cry. So,
I mean, for real though, we curb stopped them.
go Beavs.
yeah, It was not as close of a game as the final score really predicted. It felt like the Beavers kind of, even when we were down, it felt like we were more in control.
Like when we were,
it was weird.
When we were down 10 points, I don't really think I had a shred of like.
Well, you know what?
Fear.
Besides Ryan Nall, you know what helped us out the most was the weather.
True.
Because also we switched field position. We switched field positions where the Ducks at the start of the fourth quarter were going into the wind, and I don't know. They just we held Freeman in check, and that was also another key factor.
It's Logan. I think that's a great point because in the fourth quarter we had the wind at our back, and that
we had the wind in our back.
It turned out to be a huge advantage, even though we didn't really take advantage of it because I don't think we threw the ball in the fourth quarter.
No, we literally just ran the ball with Ryan Nall consecutive plays.
And now, Logan, to go back to your Royce Freeman thing. Royce Freeman, 19 carries for 106 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah, and that is brilliant.
But then you had Tony Brooks James 9 carries, 70 yards, and a TD. But he fumbled.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. If you kind of contain Freeman, I know it's like if you look at the overall rushing yards, yeah, granted they had they had a few, but if you look at Freeman, that was the X factor of stopping Freeman because he's so explosive.
Definitely. I mean, we said that going back to last week's episode. I think we all agreed that we had to stop the run, and I think we also said. I know I said Devin Chappelle had to play a big game. I know someone else said Treston Deku, and Treston played a huge game at corner. He had the pick and then the BS call on pass interference to take that away. But Treston played a great game. Senior day, I mean, what a great way to go out.
Yeah, and exactly, and I definitely do. The Ducks, they're talented. That's the thing. They're a talented team. They almost remind me of just like as of right now, they're just like a dumbed down USC. Where they have a lot. No, okay, I know Jeff. I know you're not going to agree with that, but they still have a lot.
No.
Gave a
what I'm saying is, they're dumbed down. So I know they're not to the level, and I'm not saying that they don't. But I'm just saying that they have like the athletes on their team that they can still like. If you compare the athletes to what they have to what we had, we just showed more heart than what they did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I technically agree with you, Logan. I don't think this Ducks team had a lot of talent. I think when you look at Ducks teams, even last year's Duck team, that they weren't the best, but they won 9 games. You can still look at that, and I think there were at least 2 or 3 NFL draft picks. On that defense, at least you look at that defense, they don't have anybody. I mean, they don't have a guy that I look to and go, all right, like they're solid. Oregon for the past couple of years has been known for their linebackers. You've had Michael Clay, Kiko Alonso. My buddy from Palos Verdes High School, Joe Walker, shout out. He's in the NFL now. But you have those guys, and even Tyson Coleman. You don't have a guy now. I mean, the Oregon linebacking crew was weak, and it showed in the run game.
I mean, also injured 75% of the year, too.
Yeah. But what I'm just saying is that Oregon State definitely just seemed like the more blue-collar type of team where they were able to put more heart and soul into that game and into the more of throughout the season. And I think that just definitely puts it into momentum going into 2017.
I think that's a good point because I think you did see a team in Oregon State that wanted it way more than Oregon. And that
was my point to try to get to.
Oregon wanted out of that game.
Didn't want it.
They wanted to get the season done with. Where Oregon State, that meant the world to Beaver fans, and it meant the world to the players. And you can even see it on Twitter, how much more it mattered to Beaver fans, and then Duck fans just instantly dismissing it and say, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, once we get rid of Helfrich, it'll be good.
It's a huge deal for us. And Oregon fans will never understand that, but that's a huge deal for this program.
Ungrateful.
And one thing you also got to look at is we had a huge recruiting class there also.
Yep.
I mean, that is huge to win a rivalry type game against that brand name of a team. I mean, regardless of how good they are, recruits look at that and say, it's Oregon. We remember what Oregon was, and obviously this program's on the come up if they can, show out like they did. So that was also big recruiting wise for the fan base, for recruits, for a lot of things. It wasn't just one thing.
No, that's a really great point. I think you're already starting to see the repercussions of that game in recruiting. Oregon State in the last couple of weeks, we've gotten a 4-star receiver. I know we're having talks. I know we got another cornerback from UCLA who had offers from I think Georgia. And then Oregon has a 4-star D tackle decommit this week after Helfrich getting fired. So you're seeing kind of two programs. Or you're seeing a program that's in flux in Oregon and a program in Oregon State that, man, we're on the rise. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to be challenging for the college football playoff anytime soon, but I think we're going bowling next year.
I could definitely see that as well.
I agree.
Like it wouldn't surprise me. And if you look at teams like Colorado right now, you know that things in the Pac-12 can definitely flip
Change
from
on the drop of a dime.
0 to 100 real quick. Like because
Shout out Drake.
if you just look at Colorado, like the way that they built and surprised everyone.
The recruits finally cut.
They were projected to finish last,
exactly.
in their division, and that's the thing. It's like we can flip that script on a dime, like any next year or 2 years from now.
Yeah, and Gary, from day one came in here preaching, respect the process and all that. And I mean, you're starting to see that pay off. He's getting the right guys in. He's filling the holes that he needed to. He's developing guys, and slowly there's progress. And it is going to take a little bit longer to get fully into that whole system, but he's developing a lot of guys, and you can see right here these little or big wins. Even if it's just 1 or 2 Pac-12 wins,
3
at a time. No, I know 3 overall.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, one win can have a big impact too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you see it with the players too. You see how all those seniors respond to Gary. They all love him. You see him after the game. They're all hugging each other. They all have nothing but great things to say about Gary Anderson. And I think if you're a recruit, you see that. I mean, you got to love that. You got to love that it does look like a family atmosphere. Everybody loves each other, and it's contagious with stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is.
And, you know who I want to give my most improved player of the year to?
Most improved.
Yeah.
Marcus McMarion?
No.
No, it's too obvious.
It is.
That's too obvious. It's obviously not Ryan Nall, because that's also too obvious.
I'll give you a hint.
He's a senior.
Sean Harlow.
There it is. I'm gonna go with the whole offensive lineman as a cohesive unit.
Hey, you can't clump them as one person.
I will, because they're practically
right,
one person. Because if you look at the end of this last game, is because the reason why Nall was able to have a game that he did, how we were able to put up 300 plus rushing yards, I believe. Is because the offensive line was strong and being a cohesive unit, and that's how we were able to
run the ball 21 times straight.
And how Nall's going to have a say to that as well. But he was hitting the holes perfectly, and that was also granted to a bad Oregon defensive line. But just saying that, even before this game, that Oregon State, our line just got better and better each game, because at the start of the season they were
true.
Well,
Logan, patty cake of the week.
Logan, to that point, I think you're right with the offensive line, and it's not just Ryan Nall. Marcus McMaryon had 11 carries for 81 yards, and Artavis Pierce had 7 carries for 72 yards. And Pierce had that run in the fourth quarter. He had a couple runs in the fourth quarter where he broke the one off that set up Nall's touchdown, set up the go-ahead touchdown, and then he had one where the whole pile just moves, and it stopped it for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah,
but the pile
and the crowd, crowd
and you see the
too.
pile just move, and it's and it ends up being a 9-yard gain. And that right there, that's on the offensive line, and that's the offensive line and the offense wanting it more than Oregon.
Yep, hard work, perseverance pays off.
All right, so before we talk about the win in general, I want to switch a little bit to the quarterback situation and get your guys' take. Moving into the offseason and next year, where's your guys' focus? Who do you want to see starting at QB, and who do you think will start at QB?
Heismarion.
Heismarion?
Yes.
Trust me, that is a great ring to it.
Yeah, we should start that here first. I don't know if anyone started that. If not,
probably have.
I honestly don't. Maybe, but maybe not.
I say
it
we
rolls
start
off the
now.
tongue just as good as Heismarion.
I think we can make it.
Heismarion. Actually, that kind of sounds better.
I like it. And then you put like a little 3 in there for an E.
I definitely think that.
I think we got it. No, I think we got the hashtag now.
With Mason Moran coming, off here in the next year, I don't think that you want to bring him in right away. I think that you still go with a Marcus McMaryon. Just
final, yeah.
And I think we saw the best of Daryl Garrettson, and at
big quotes around best.
Yeah, and I honestly think that McMarion had overall when we schemed a plays and a game around him, I think that he did nothing to lose this job going in.
He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
Can I just ask how the hell Marcus McMaryon was the third string quarterback? I really just want to know what was going on in practice and if it was an attitude issue, a lack of effort until the opportunity provided itself. Like,
you see, it doesn't make much sense to me because he also got, I think, honorable mention.
Second team
all mention for academic stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like he has a grade issue.
I mean, he's heavily involved with the community. You saw that thing yesterday on Twitter. If you saw, they went out and bought presents for whatever. I mean, he's a good guy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For Chris McMaryon.
Well, no, I meant for
the holidays. Let's not.
I wasn't saying for
that.
that.
We're not
I was just saying I didn't know
here.
who they were buying it for.
True. But still, third string, my ass. Seriously.
I think you're right, Jake. I think going forward, Marcus has to be the guy.
He has to be.
He
has to be. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put him definitively declare it. At the start of camp and go, all right, Marcus, you're their starter. We're going with it. I think I'd make him earn it, and if he shows you in practice, he's got to be the leader in the clubhouse, and then if he proves it in practice, then you go with him,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too, because we have, like Logan mentioned, Moran, who was pretty highly touted coming out of high school, who they may want to bring in and develop. Or we also have the junior college who has a huge arm.
Yeah.
Jake Luton, or however you pronounce it.
Something like that.
He's also good. So it is going to be interesting, and I think you bring up a good point. I don't think they're going to name someone right away. They're going to kind of let it develop. We have the junior college quarterback coming in January, I believe. He's enrolling early. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
McMarion's still got to go out there and earn it. He's not going to be handed that.
I would almost compare the McMarion situation to like a Dak Prescott Dallas situation.
What?
Not skill. I'm talking about team relatability and leadership. Correct me if I'm wrong, but under Garrettson, I saw no love on Twitter from fellow teammates. Nothing that really seemed like he was rallied by any of the team. And then McMarion comes in, and he's obviously super close with Seth, super close with Jordan. It was almost like a culture change when McMarion got the job, honestly.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Daryl Garrettson is Tony Romo. Marcus McMarion
honestly
is Dak Prescott. I think it's just a race thing, Jake.
Fuck off. You know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you mean.
Garrettson is washed up Romo. Sit your ass on the bench.
But in order to be
watch young Dak ball.
In order to be washed up Romo, you had to have actually been Romo at one point.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, he was.
Garrettson, no, he's not. Garrettson's not Romo.
Utah Garrettson was a baller.
I mean, was he though? Did you actually watch Garrettson play at Utah State? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
I just went off the hype.
I just read the stats. Okay.
Bring out the chickens.
Yeah, bring out the Kentucky Fried Chickens.
But seriously though, McMarion, wouldn't you agree that once he got the job, it was like, the player rally around him and just everything changed?
I think it was different, but I think there was more of a commitment to running the ball also with Marcus there.
Fair enough.
When we had Daryl in there, I think it goes along with the offensive line play coming together. Marcus came at the right time. I don't think Daryl Garrettson would do the same things that Marcus did. I don't think he could go 16 for 19 and throw 5 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
But I think
he can't even throw 1 touchdown in a game.
Yeah, I think McMarion came at the right time is how I'd put it.
Yeah. And also kind of at the start of the season was also besides there was the one game I can't remember exactly the game that was it the Arizona game that Nall didn't play in or
Nall sought out Cal.
No,
Wait,
he didn't.
No,
he played Cal.
Yeah, he
It was
balled
the game
Cal.
before the Arizona game.
I'm blanking.
I can't remember.
UCLA.
No, I don't remember.
No, it was UCLA.
That Nall was just more banged up at the start of the season too. So that's
Very
also the
banged
Jeff's
up. Very
point
banged
that
up.
we were able to run the ball more efficiently at the end of the season with Marcus in.
Real question is, though, what happens to Daryl? He's obviously not going to transfer. He's still going to compete for the starting job because he's the senior. I don't think he's going to win the starting job. I mean, Gary does have a little kind of weird Garrettson fetish, though, so...
The whole coaching staff does, which I'm just
baffled by.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
think
baffled by it.
I would think Daryl would stay because he is going to be a senior. He's going to be graduating.
Yeah.
But
He's already made one transfer.
I wouldn't
it
be
would be
shocked. But I wouldn't be
ridiculous for him
shocked
to
if
transfer.
Daryl's from Utah. What if he goes to a D2 like Dixie State?
I mean,
You
good for him if he does, but I
yeah,
just don't.
I would be fine with that. And we have kind of a crowded quarterback room right now, especially with another JC transfer coming in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to have Garrettson gone. I know that sounds just kind of savage,
What?
but it'd be
No, it's
good.
not savage.
It'd be good to have Garrettson gone, kind of hand it over to McMarion and Moran and let him compete. And
That's
may
what we want. That's
may
what
the
the
best
fans
man
want.
win.
What % chance do you give Garrettson to be the starting quarterback at Oregon State? next year?
Garrettson?
Yes.
In my eyes or the coaching eyes?
In your eyes.
In my eyes, 0%.
Like you think
I do
there's
not-
no
I-
possible chance?
No. I don't want him.
I don't agree with
My
that.
eyes? Well, that's my
No, sorry.
eyes.
I didn't mean your eyes as in your opinion. I mean your eyes as in like what you
Okay.
think the coaches will do.
Okay, there it is.
The team will do. Yeah.
I was saying practically.
This isn't math, okay?
All right, if I had to see, they probably give him I give it like a 35% chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna go like 25.
Yeah, I think 35
I'm
is a
around
good number.
I'm 20 to 30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Team Heismarion.
We're
That's
team
what-
hashtag
that's
Heismarion.
all we gotta
Hashtag
say.
Heismarion. We're starting that.
Yeah, we'll tweet it out throughout the off season.
All right. So we pretty much broke down the players of the show. Now I just want to talk about specifically for Jeff, since he wasn't in Corvallis.
Oh God,
Break
that looked
down
epic.
Break down what you were feeling in those.
No.
Shout out the dog appearance on the
Oh,
pod.
you can hear the dog. Oh, dog is going crazy.
What's its name?
Break down.
Baxter.
It's
Oh yeah, Baxter. That's
I think we've heard Baxter
Yeah, we've heard
before on the
Baxter
pod.
Wait,
Baxter was on the first
Baxter's a
podcast.
guest. He's
Yeah,
he's,
Baxter was
he's,
on the
a,
first
he's a
podcast.
regular.
Yeah.
So
Break down what you were feeling because obviously we were in the stands. It was raining. It was like a euphoric,
it
touching
was
moment from football
Euphoria.
heavens.
No, Euphoria was like it's the best way to describe it. I
So
mean,
you were at your grandma's. Paint
No,
the
I was
picture.
at my girlfriend's. I was here.
Okay.
Watching it at
Little bit-
my girlfriend's place.
A little bit rowdier then, I'm guessing.
I was definitely a little more rowdy. Her dad got into it, which was cool. We were
All right,
we were
all
all
right.
we were all into it. We were all Beaver believers that day.
As you should be.
Yeah, I mean, just watching it when we go down 24-14, I'm thinking, God, this cannot get any worse. I just I thought we're gonna fold. I thought we're gonna lose it right here, and then when they just flip it around and they score, and then after that fake or not really fake onside kick, but that little pooch kick that we don't get after a BS offsides call, I
Yeah.
thought, holy crap, we're gonna win this. Like that was kind of where I was like, okay, we got a shot. I mean, and like once it finally happened, and watching Johnny Munt drop that pass in the end zone, oh man.
Very.
That was the greatest thing
such an
ever.
ironic,
I
sweet
jumped
moment
up.
to sum up the Duck season.
I just jumped up and I lost it, just yelled. I was super stoked. I mean, I was so it was
Long time
honestly
coming.
seriously one of the coolest moments of my life. Just to see
Yep.
that was awesome. Just so awesome.
rushing that field is pretty incredible.
Yeah, how was it in the stadium? Because it looked just wet,
Oh,
rainy,
man.
but it looked
It was-
rowdy and it looked fun.
It was wet and rowdy.
Yeah.
It was honestly more fun to have
Pause.
it be raining.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
towards the end, it kind of like we picked up our play, and at the same time, it started like raining.
Yeah,
and
so
it was
when it-
kind of just so exciting.
when it
overall.
was raining, you just didn't even care.
Oh,
Yeah.
not at all.
You
Rush
know,
the
it's
field.
really funny because I was flipping back and forth between USC Notre Dame and Oregon State Oregon. So during the Civil War commercials, I jump over to SC Notre Dame, and it was pouring down in LA during that game, and you see the Coliseum and it's just empty. Like just it's raining, no one wants to be there. They're all gone, and I flip back to the Civil War, and it's just like a
Yes,
torrential
yep, just
downpour, wind, and everybody's there, and I'm like, man, that's my school. I'm proud to be a Beaver for that right there.
Rush the field. Ryan Nall got lifted up by the students and broke out in a little wrecking Nall chant. It was pretty glorious.
It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
I mean, Ryan Nall will honestly never have to buy a drink again in Corvallis. Never.
Pretty much.
I mean, never again.
Here's another Ryan Nall question I forgot to pose earlier in the podcast. So, Ryan Nall, heading into his junior year, say he's healthy for 80% of this year, opposed to, this current season when things started out slow, banged up. He missed, how many games in total did he miss? 3?
3,
4.
2 to 4. Yeah, I'm not entirely
Missed
sure.
a good amount.
Yeah.
Say Ryan Nall comes out healthy, starts every game, performs at the same level he did this year when he was healthy. Does he leave?
I would.
Yeah.
Probably,
Pretty
yeah.
much every running back in college football leaves their junior year if they're productive, right?
Well, why?
I don't think so.
But
I don't
He's
think leaves,
so injury prone
Yeah,
though.
that's
Him
my
returning
thing.
for his senior season could completely screw his NFL chances.
I think
Which
Jake,
sucks,
for
but-
that, I think it really depends on how's the team, what's around Oregon State, where are we at? Are we an 8-win
What's
bowl
his draft
team?
stock?
True.
That's,
Yeah.
What's his draft
that's,
stock?
That's my thing.
What's his draft stock? But
True.
let's say we're an 8-win team. We won our bowl game. You know,
Yeah.
we're on the cusp. You can kind of see. All right, next year might be a big year. Maybe we would get
Comes back for the big
9,
year.
10
I agree.
games.
Honestly, I
Null's
I
only
don't
like
think
a
that's even
4th round
question.
pick. Maybe he comes back. I think more than likely though, I think he's gone, and I don't blame him.
Same.
I think if you have your chance to get your money, and you know you're injury prone, you get out and you get your money when you can.
What's the last elite running back Oregon State had to stay 4 years? Jackson left junior year, right? Or I guess Everton Bernard stayed. No, Jaquiz left his junior year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jaquiz left his junior year.
I think Bernard stayed all 4.
Was James?
James was
Well, James
James
was
was
a
a
different
receiver.
scenario because remember he was injured the whole year, so he came back for his 5th year, I think.
Yeah, he was there my freshman year.
Yeah, I guess James would be there for
Yeah.
the scenario.
But yeah, both Quiz and Steven Jackson, I think, left their junior year, so we'll see.
Ken-
I mean,
and-
either way,
Jake,
if he
it'd be
leaves
Ken
his junior
Simonton.
year, it would. Oh yeah, true. It would mean that he would have to have an unbelievably stellar junior year to begin with, which I mean, obviously works out in our favor anyway. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll find out. One last question.
And-
I got one last question.
Okay.
Before we move
What's
on
up?
to kind of a general college football talk here.
Yeah.
There's a rumor going around. I don't know if you guys have heard it. Gary Anderson's allegedly looking at Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator from Washington, and trying to lure him to Oregon State.
Where did you see this?
I heard it from my dad. It was on We Are SC, the USC message boards. It's
Not
not.
try to get him for the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but so here's.
I-
I don't know if you guys know anything about Jonathan Smith other than the fact that he's the OC at Washington. But Jonathan Smith was the quarterback at Washington State of Oregon State for the 2001 Fiesta Bowl team that stomped Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
I
guys
could-
think, what you guys feel about that, but I think that'd be really badass if we stole a coordinator from Washington.
Yeah. No, I think honestly,
Anything we can get from Washington at this point, I'll take.
Yeah.
I'll take it. UW, go Huskies.
I mean, yeah, I would take it too. He's shown to be elite this year, so why not? I mean, I agree. It would be sweet.
Well, with that, let's talk college football playoff.
All right.
Logan.
Before no.
okay.
Before we get to the college football playoffs, obviously we're Beavs here, FTD, so we don't have to dwell too long on it. But obviously, coming out of the Civil War, the biggest news in college football from that, which I know I was a little on the fence. I thought if they got the Civil War win, the Ducks did, I thought there might be a chance he salvages it for one more year. But Mark Helfrich got the axe. You guys all undisputed predicted it either way. If the Ducks won the Civil War, I'm pretty sure.
It would have.
Thoughts on that? Oregon is in turmoil right now. The way they handled that was
Yeah.
complete and utter trash.
Their press release.
How many?
statement,
The press release. How many commits do you think they lost? Just
Well, just
Well,
one
I don't
right
think-
now.
well, no. I mean, not even that, but just in the fact of like future, high school kids are just seeing how they handled it. They were, left in limbo for 3 days. What did Helfrich tell the kids when he was making those calls? Just, I don't know if I'm going to be here or not. I haven't been told yet, but you should come to Oregon. Fuck yeah.
I don't think kids really care too much about
Well-
what the AD and how they handle a firing.
I think they
Yeah,
do.
I don't think they do. I think they care about who
It represents the
coach-
organization, though,
But
and
they-
how
they-
things
I
are
think-
handled.
Okay, but
No.
Jake, if you're a 4-star recruit, you don't care about the academic institution and the brand and
Well, you care of
institution
knowing who your
Oregon.
coach is going to be.
Yeah, you care
That's
about
courtesy
exactly.
of the
Exactly.
AD.
You care about who your coach is. You don't care about
And that's
how
not
they
his
go about
fault.
getting your coach, and that's not on
Because-
Helfrich.
That's the AD's fault.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
if
but
you're going to
you don't
lose
care about your
recruits-
AD. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
you care that much about the AD.
If you lose recruits, if they come back in and they hire a badass coach, a lot of it's kind of leaking. I forget, it was like Southern Florida or something like that. Their head coach is like 10-1. But what I'm saying is, if they lose a if they lose a head coach, it doesn't matter because if they get a new head coach in, that's fine. But right now, it's like a different scenario. Is like Houston, Tom Herman, him leaving to like Texas. That's when you probably lose some recruits because the whole reason why recruits are going to Houston is because of the coach.
Exactly.
Tom Herman.
I think,
so then if you get a good coach to come to Oregon, then it's a total different scenario.
Kids are going to Oregon.
The athletic director.
Kids are going to Oregon because of the Nike brand and the Oregon, the aura of Oregon and how good they've been.
Well, here's the thing about that's the
it's
thing
not
that
for
I was
Helfrich.
going to exactly. That's the thing I was going to just talk about because some of the sports shows that I were listening to were sort of posing the question: what is Oregon's identity at this point? You know, the uniform thing is played out. They tried to release it every week. No one gives a shit anymore. Plenty of teams are doing the uniform shit.
Well,
The tempo's gone. Tempo's all across, and then
Jake,
I don't know.
someone must be listening to Rosillo and Cannell and Todd McShay.
That's actually not the one I was listening to, but they're probably saying the same thing.
Todd had the same breakdown. No, Jake, you're right. I mean,
It's like their identity's gone. Like, what do you sell to Oregon?
Every school
like,
has a million different uniforms now. Damn near every school runs some sort of up tempo, fast paced offense. What are you? What is your identity?
What are you?
I think Oregon
you're played out.
Oregon
they
needs
have
to blow it up. They need to blow it up. They need to get an entirely new identity.
They're clinging on to their staff they've had for 30 years, and it's clearly played out at this point. Clearly.
Well, then who do you think they're going to hire, or who do you think they should hire?
That's the big question. I don't know who they should hire, and I don't know who they will hire. I have no clue.
I think it could be one of those like Chip Kelly type guys who comes from a smaller school who's had a lot of success.
I know they're looking at
like there was the name that I thought was interesting was PJ Fleck from Western Michigan.
Yeah.
They're undefeated this year, and he's a guy who's gonna get a big coaching job sometime soon and move up from that kind of smaller type rebuild. I mean, he was a guy who took a program from I think 1-11 to 12-0 in a couple seasons. Mm-hmm. So that bodes well. A younger guy who come in and like kind of reestablish an identity. I think something like that is probably what I would say is where they.
I think the thing that Duck fans don't really realize is they wanted Helfrich's head on a stick, which they got.
Yeah.
But I really don't think they're going to get that home run slam out of the park hire for a head coach. They could, and they obviously the expectation with that to be to immediately come in and turn the season around. But the flexibility that you're going to have with a new hire, if it is like the Chip Kelly situation, out of nowhere having to build the team, like a Gary Anderson building the team up, from the ground up. What the new coach is going to have to get at least a 4-year grace period, so they could be. I don't know. They could be desolate for the next 2 years to come, and they're going to have to give the new coach
a lot of the rumors,
bending room.
Yeah, because you don't really know right now. A lot of the rumors that are coming out is the University of South Florida coach, Willie Taggart. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I think anyone has really even seen.
I think we'll know. Oh, sorry, Grant, go.
Okay, sorry. It's kind of delayed, so it's hard for me to tell when you're talking.
No, you're good.
I mean, it could be some sort of situation. When you look at the Gary Anderson situation when we were looking for a coach, his name was not even on the radar. He was not thrown out at all.
Yeah.
For the Oregon State job. So no one knows. It could come out of complete left field. Just no one. Everyone's like, "Oh, I had no idea that name hadn't been tossed around."
Well, Grant, here I got a name that no one has. I've heard one person, a couple of people talk about it, but it'd be a big get for Oregon and it'd be huge for the Pac-12. I think Oregon's going to make a run at Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M.
Because Texas A&M already kind of have beef with each other.
Someone's had issues with A&M. He's been on the hot seat for kind of a while. Yeah. He's got this He's got this rap at A&M of getting off to a hot start and really fading down the stretch, and he did it again. So I think the boosters are kind of getting sick with Sumlin. He's had issues. It's a lot easier to win in the Pac-12 North than it is the SEC West. Sumlin started his coaching career in the Pacific Northwest at Washington State. He really wanted the Washington State job when he was at Houston, but Mike Leach got it. I think you got to watch out for Kevin Sumlin. I think that'd be the perfect hire for Oregon. He runs a fast-paced offense. He could recruit that area. He can recruit. If he can recruit to College Station, he can recruit to Eugene. I think you got to watch out for Sumlin.
That's interesting.
I like that. All right, we're moving on to...
All right. Enough of the Ducks. We don't give a shit about their coaching situation or what comes out.
We should care. We need to care.
True. Okay,
we need to care who they hire because if they go
if they go and hire
Willie Taggart from USF, we know it's a complete blow up. and we know we got 4 years where this is going to get interesting in the Civil War. If they get Sumlin,
Which
it's
makes
another
it fun,
4
though.
years where we're kind of screwed.
Hey, I mean, look at it this way. I think they've set their program back any way you cut it, but it's kind of how long they've set their program back is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Anyway, go Beavers. How about that? That was the Civil War game, 34-24. Let's move on. We talked about Oregon. We talked about Oregon State. Let's talk a little college football playoffs, Pac-12 championship situation.
Yep.
You got the
Called it.
dog
I booked it.
fanboy sitting next to us right here.
I booked it.
He's about to talk his shit. Let's get into it. College playoffs. I know Jeff's got a few hot takes to spit, so
Yeah, Jeff. What do you got?
let's hear him, Jeff.
Okay, well, Washington's currently 4 in the college football playoff.
Yep.
I think that's totally deserving. Washington is one of the 4 best teams in the country, in my opinion. I don't think Washington is going to get into the college football playoff.
You think?
Because I think the committee is going to do anything they can to get Michigan in there, so they can have an Ohio State-Michigan rematch or a Michigan-Saban game. Harbaugh-Saban.
Okay. That's the thing. This is where the Big Ten is really they're really screwed up right now because they don't have their 2 best teams in their conference in the championship game, and you would put Michigan right now ahead of the even like I would say Washington, say they even lose or even if they win, like just say if they lose, then they have to maybe even slide in the Big Ten championship game. Which is going to be Penn State and Wisconsin, which I don't think both those teams are either really deserving, but Penn State has more of a resume, I think, than Wisconsin.
Well,
but you would put Penn State. I would put Penn State in there over Michigan if that was my scenario.
So here's where it gets really screwed up. Penn State. Let's say Penn State wins the Big Ten. Penn State's one big win is against Ohio State, which is a great win, and the committee's already said that they value. That they value a conference champion. So you have to show that you value Penn State as a conference champion. However, how do you go ahead and put – I don't think you can put Penn State in over Michigan for the fact that Michigan beat the crap out of them. Michigan curb stomped them earlier in the season, and I don't think it works that you can put a two-loss Penn State team over a two-loss Big Ten champion Penn State team over a two-loss Michigan team who I think is just I think they're better than Penn State.
I do too. I think Michigan's better than Penn State as well. I'm just saying that they're like if the committee is actually going to value and quote unquote the championship games, I'm just saying that like then what's the point of putting Michigan in there? I'm just like that's the thing is with the Big Ten of where they're screwing everything.
It
up.
would be interesting if the committee says we value a conference champion, but you don't put a Big Ten conference champion in, and you take Ohio State or Ohio State and Michigan. Then it gets real hairy because now we have a situation where is Michigan gonna move past Washington without playing a game? So Washington now has to have style points.
How would that happen?
They have to have style points tomorrow night. So this is where it gets interesting too. If you compare Washington and Michigan head to head, everyone talks about the strength of schedule with Michigan. Michigan's best win right now is over Colorado. Okay? Washington's playing Colorado this weekend, so we'll see kind of a side-by-side comparison how Washington's going to look. The other thing with that is Washington's non-conference schedule was 117th out of 118 teams. 18 teams. They had one of the worst. They had one of the worst non-conference
Jeff, the
schedules.
stat god.
Hold on, I'm building something big here. Everybody's praising Michigan for this for beating Colorado in a close game. While everybody is basically saying Washington played this horrible schedule because they played Rutgers, and that's a mutual opponent, and Rutgers was awful this year. The one thing no one is taking into account, Michigan did not account on Colorado being a 10-win team when they scheduled this game. When Michigan scheduled this game, Colorado, since in the last 10 years, Colorado's has made one bowl game. Made one bowl game in the last 10 years. Okay? Meaning Colorado's been garbage for the last 10 years. And Michigan scheduled it thinking, all right, we got a cupcake. They scheduled it 3 years out. Then you look at Washington, who scheduled Rutgers. The last 10 years, same time period, Rutgers has made 8 bowl games. Rutgers, a far superior opponent when Washington scheduled them. They just don't get the benefit of the doubt because Rutgers sucks right now. And now that comes to bite Washington in the ass. And it's going to screw the Pac-12 out of the playoff again. Mic drop, done. I'm sick of the playoff committee.
Okay, here's my
Before we move on from Jeff's statement, can we just address the fact, since this is a podcast, you guys cannot see what we're doing, but a fucking snail just fell on Grant's head from a plant.
Yeah, it peeped out of the bottom of this plant, and I felt something fall on my head and land on the keyboard, and it's a small snail. That is living.
Oh yeah, it's alive.
And it was on my keyboard, and then I touched it and realized it was still alive.
Yeah, I moved
But-
it for Grant. Grant was scared. He didn't want to
We
touch
roll
it.
with the punches here on Second String Sports. So.
Okay, all right. So back to the college
Back
football
to
playoff.
Jeff's epic rant.
Okay. This it's just total craziness of what's going to happen with championship games. Non-championship games aren't happening because Michigan could still possibly get in with not even playing. Clemson, Washington, I think maybe like Penn State, Wisconsin. Who else is in there to maybe sneak in? Because we already know that Alabama and Ohio State are going to be locks. Who do you think, Jeff? Who's going to get the two final?
I think Clemson beats Virginia Tech. I think in a close one, though. Watch out for Virginia Tech. And then I think, depending how Washington plays, if Washington wins a close one against Colorado, it's Michigan. But if Washington wins by 2 to 3 touchdowns, it's going to the Huskies. That's kind of the caveat I'll put it. It's Washington or Michigan. I think Penn State or Wisconsin are getting their chain yanked. They don't have a chance at getting into the playoff, and I'm okay with that. I don't think they deserve a chance, quite honestly, because the two best teams in the Big Ten are Michigan and Ohio State. Wisconsin played both, didn't beat either one of them. Penn State played both, beat one of them.
And even in the game when Penn State did beat Ohio State, if anybody watched that game, Penn State got so lucky in that game as well. Ohio State had a couple miscues. Penn State had it was a block kick and they returned it back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then their defense and special teams won the game, but they definitely did not. I'm just saying that game was kind of a fluke game where you can kind of like almost brush it on the rug, and I can see that. I can see the committee doing that in that situation.
But I think you can lose a game, and I can still think you're a better team than Penn State. It does not mean it means that one particular game, Penn State was better than Ohio State. If you play that game over a 10-game sample size, there's no way Penn State wins one of those, and that's the one that they won, which is great about sports. I don't think you should benefit Penn State for that one game though.
Yep. So I think that I'm going to keep it on how it is right now. I'm going to leave Clemson and Washington in there. If I'm on the committee, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm leaving Washington in there. If you know what I'm saying.
I would too. But I'm totally with you.
But I see the committee giving the shaft. I just totally do. That's just kind of
they're going to find any way to put Michigan in.
If Washington wins, that's what I'm. Which I would have to suspect, but I would have liked that USC Washington rematch. That would have been interesting.
That would have been fun. SC's the hottest team right now outside of Bama.
Yeah. But I would just love to see a 6-team playoff. That's another thing where.
Why 6?
Because so here it is. You only have to add an extra week. You give the top 2 teams with right now, which or 2 would be locks, would be Ohio State and Alabama. So you give those teams 2 byes, and then you do you just have to play 1 extra week with the 2 extra teams, and you have the full bowl weeks and everything. So you only have to take before what was it, like in 2007, 2009, somewhere in that time range, where they expanded college football season, and now you have this like 1 extra like non-conference game that you get a year.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you take back one of those games and you kind of add it to a bowl game or in this case, a college football playoff, that you're only canceling a week out of that, and you're only adding 1 game to a championship performance, and you add 2 extra teams.
Right, I agree with that. I think 6 teams makes more sense, and
Yeah.
I think it's easier to cut down on that. I mean, there is still going to be controversy no matter how much, but I think it's easier with 6.
And look at the FCS. Look how the FCS is running these things too. I think the FCS runs a excellent playoff bracket system, and you also get you get to see the predictions, and I think it would also be fun, like a Western Michigan right now. It would be fun to see them play a who knows, like a Clemson in the first round,
Logan,
and then winner. Yeah,
I'll one up you here.
Okay.
I don't think
I'll
we
take
should.
it.
I don't think we should do 6. I think giving him a bye. I don't like that. It makes it too much like the NFL. I don't think we want that. What I think you do, you make it an 8-team playoff.
And that's totally fine with me. But that's the thing for.
Hold on, I got it.
Okay.
Let me break it down for y'all. All right.
Okay.
8-team playoff. You make the Power 5 schools all play a conference championship game. Winner of the conference championship game gets an automatic bid, just like they do in college basketball. Then you have 3 wild card spots essentially, and then that's where the committee can come in, and the committee can pick the 3 best teams that they think should play. And to throw in that little Western Michigan spot, you can make a deal. If you have a group of 5 team who's undefeated at the end of the season, like a Western Michigan, you can throw them in there and you can give them their chance to play at the big boys.
Okay, I love that scenario way better. But I'm just saying for I just think that the playoff or just like in general, the NCAA is just scared to add these many teams. Well, that's saying
they
like
also
if you
can't
want,
do
go
it
to
yet.
6. Yeah, they can't do it because they have to do it until like 19, 20.
I think it's like a 10.
There's
There's like 10 more years on the contract, so we can.
What? No way.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we can piss and bitch and moan as much as we want. It's not going to change for another 10 years.
All right, whatever.
Piss and bitch and moan.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Quentin Tarantino movie or something.
Hey man, Quentin can take it.
All right, well, that was been probably the wrap up on the official post-Civil War college football edition of Second String Sports. Anything you guys want to add before we wrap it up on this week?
Go Beavers! How about that? That's what I want to add. Why can't we just add that all the time? Like,
honestly,
I think in the off-season,
that'll
we
probably
just gotta
make
add
its
it.
way in most podcasts
hey, just
from now on.
know we have a whole nother year of just knowing we beat the Ducks in the Civil War.
Yeah.
And until that comes around
And
again, that's
many
going to
more
be a
years,
great feel.
many more years to come.
What,
hopefully,
like
so.
300 and like 58 more days bragging? Is that right?
Yep, and it's not going to slow down at all. Go
And
Beavs.
Logan is stabbing the snail that fell on Grant's head. So we have officially reached the. Oh shit! Don't.
Okay, I don't want to.
We've reached the.
I don't.
The LA
Let's wrap
Insiders
it up.
is sitting safely away in a state away, thousands of miles away. So
Yes, sir.
you know, that's the way it is. Go Beavs. Thanks for listening to Second String Sports. If you don't already, you can follow us on our SoundCloud and YouTube. That's where the shows will be going up. Just search Second String Sports. If you want to follow us on, God damn it, Logan's trying to eat the snail. I can't focus. Follow our show's Twitter at Second String Sports. That's sports with a Z. Hashtag Second SS if you want to tweet at us anything you want debated on the show, or you just have a opinion you want to, diss us, go in on Jeff, criticize
Bring it.
the Lakers.
I will get on.
anything.
I love Twitter arguments. Let's do it.
True. Jeff lives for it. Anyways, this is Second String Sports. Look out for more episodes coming up. Go Beavers. Gang, gang. Peace.